As always, you can get this game and other great games at GOG.com. They have a great selection of retro PC games and also very current indie games and other PC titles coming your way. It's GOG.com, your best resource for PC games. All right, everybody. Today I'm going to review Volgarr the Viking. It's a classic 2D platformer game that's very styled after the old games from the Nintendo 8-bit era. And as a result, the game is a very challenging game, to say the least. It's also very, I guess, inspiration-driven from Roston, the arcade game Roston. Kind of centers around a barbarian guy like Conan the Barbarian, and so on. And this first level is very evident that it draws from Roston. You can look up screenshots of Roston on YouTube. They're not hard to find. And this part right here is in the very first level of Roston as well, where you jump down through the hole and get some treasures and things like that. Now, what makes Volgarr a little bit different than Roston, you can get these power-ups that you're seeing that I'm getting. I just got a helmet, and I got a steel shield right before that. And as you go on, the more chests you find, the more things you can get out of them. The next chest that you'll see here in a moment will have the top power-up that you can get in the game in terms of armament that goes on your character. I'll be jumping across here and grabbing the chest in a moment. Before I get that, though, and my poor jumping, before I get the next power-up, what I'll say is probably out of all the power-ups that I found is the best to have that you need to keep no matter what is the very first one you get, the steel shield. It protects you from everything as opposed to the wooden shield that can only take 2 hits before it's gone. The other stuff just keeps you from dying. It gives basically extra hit points. So, but anyway, you just saw right there, I got the fire sword. And it's a very powerful weapon. It's obviously going to be stronger than the normal sword, and you can kill enemies with less hits with the flame sword. So as you see here, the game, you got to do different things, such as you get to throw a spear. It's a secondary weapon. You can use it to jump off of it as a platform and things like that. And the game, as I mentioned at the very beginning, is a very challenging game. You really have to know your timing. That is the key point in this game. Knowing enemy patterns is a second thing that's very beneficial. But as the game goes on, especially, I would say level 4, you got to have some split-second jumps, and you got to have the timing down very, very precisely. The first couple levels, 1 and 2, and even probably 3, you can get away with not being super precise in your jumps. But once you get to level 4, that changes. Now, each level, as you just see here, this is still part of level 1, but each level has got an outside area and a inside area. Now, this is the inside of level 1. It's kind of like a temple. Each level's got basically a temple or a fortress that you walk into. And this is the little temple of level 1. And you do other things. And what you saw I just got right there was a thing that allows you to go to bonus levels when you complete a level. Now this is level 2. Level 2 is more of a aquatic type level. It's got fish creatures, and it seems to be more along the lines of you need to know how the enemies attack in this one than level 1. It seems like each level might have a little bit of a theme in terms of what it focuses on as a player that you need to develop your skills in. This one you need to know kind of how the enemies act. Level 1 is kind of just almost like a tutorial, and level 3 is, it's a little bit different. And level 4, as I mentioned, is jumps and things. And level 5 and so on will have different things you need to focus on. And of course, as the levels progress, they get a little bit tougher. As you see here, you got water you can fall into. You need to get on a boat. Make sure you don't die. But the game is very difficult, as I mentioned. It's a fun game. Now, I was playing this with my girlfriend, and to give you a relation to the challenge of this game, we both play games. I play them probably a little bit more heavily than she does. I reverted back to saying some choice words that would not be beneficial for many children to hear, and things that I try not to say very much. and the game really angered me very, very much. I can't say those words here, but they were very bad. My girlfriend was the same way. She was losing her temper very much, and yelling at her child when her child was trying to give her advice on how to play, telling him to shut up. So the game is very, very frustrating and very challenging. It's fun, but it's very challenging, and it's very, very hard. And it's mostly fair, but there's still some quirks in it that will set off even the most patient gamer. And what you just saw there was level 3, and zombie levels, undead levels. And this is level 4 where I was mentioning the jumps. Now, you'll see here, I've not played in a few weeks, so my practice time has really went down, and as a result, you'll see that I really struggle here on this level. The game, if you don't play it, and if you don't play it very regular, your skills will degrade very fast. That's how precise the game is in its mechanics. That being said, it's a very fun game. It's very frustrating. If you liked old games like Castlevania, things like that, Mega Man, for the old Nintendo 8-bit system, this game's going to be for you. If you ever played Roston, this game is for you. If you like the 2D platformers. So what's at the end of each level? Well, there's a boss. That's also a classic thing for these games, and each boss is unique. They have a certain way you have to fight them. As you see here, this is the guy from level 1. He's a big lizard dude, and he's got, like, I don't know, he's got a big club. He's got a big stick. He's got a big pain stick there, so you got to figure out kind of how to deal with him. And this is level 2, and going in to fight this creature, which, honestly, for me, I found this boss creature probably one of the more difficult for me. I never could hardly stay out of the water, and so on, so I had some issues. But if you like 2D platformers, and you like the old games, as I mentioned, like Castlevania, Roston, Mega Man, those super hard games, Volgarr will be for you. It's got great sound effects. It's got a great soundtrack, too. Sonic Prophecy, I believe, is the name of the band, and they got a title called Juggernaut. That's the soundtrack for the game. And check it out. It's on GOG. It's a great game, and you can't go wrong. Thanks.